Development tour is about to kick off. There's 40 people here, 2 minibuses. We could have sold 20 minibuses. The amount of people that are desperate to come on these development tours is crazy. Every 2 months we do them. So it's one of my favourite things to do. I get to take people around to my own developments and teach them what I did to buy it. Did I buy it at auction? Did I buy it cash? Am I using bridging finance? Am I using development finance? What planning applications I've had to go through. They get to see semi-detached houses, flat conversions, planning permission with double-storey extensions, care homes. It's just awesome. This was off market. The agents came directly to one of my sources and they said to me, we want a quick sale. It was up for 225 and we got it for 190, like you said. And it's freehold. The area is not the best. It's not a great area. It's not a terrible area, but it's not a great area. And like I said, we had the comparable up the street and we've had no issues whatsoever with this property apart from that. The cost of the refurb on this has cost me 65 grand, including the £8,000 for this. And that's not nothing to do with the gardens. The builders that we've got on this are Birmingham City Council approved builders. So if you put something on the planning portal in Birmingham City Council, the builders who are doing this, they come recommended by Birmingham City Council on the planning portal. So on the planning portal, there's 8 to 12 builders that Birmingham City Council recommend. The ones that are doing this, they're recommended by Birmingham City Council. They're really good at what they do. If you watch the Daily the other day, you'll hear me talk about this up here. So if you look at that one there, and everybody just look at one of the steels that's in the ceiling. If you look at this one exactly, can you see that that side is a little bit thicker than this side? Yeah. Can you actually see that? So that was out by about that much. Because the ceiling, even though we've overboarded and made it new and put brand new ceiling there, the house was actually on the joists upstairs are kind of like that. So that's triple boarded over there, double boarded in the middle and single boarded in order to create the line. Because when you walk through that door, you don't want it to look like one side's like that and one side's like that. So the builders have took that on their own and done it without even me knowing about it, which is probably a cost of about 500 quid extra. And that's the level of builders. Now, most builders that you would get, most contractors would have just left it like that and not thought nothing of it. So that's the difference with the level of builders that you have around you. We've had no issues, like I said. Nothing wrong with this house. It's been plain sailing, really straightforward. The configurations that we've done in here, we obviously knocked the wall out behind that door, where you all are there, where Dan is. That wall's come out. This wall has completely come out, and then all of this has been fixed as well. So there's been quite a bit of steel gone in here. You can see all the new steels where they all are. So I think we put about 12 grand's worth of steels in this house to get it open plan like this. Now, there's a lot of educators out there on social media. Some good, some bad. But there's a lot of them out there that can tell you, you can do the buy, refurbish, refinance, rent by spending 10 grand on a property. If you can do that, guys, and any of you have ever done it, bring them all to me and I'll buy every single one off you. One day and 4 to go, and the interaction today from the group is exceptional. And the questions that I'm being asked are from the most basic of beginners questions up to a couple of people who are there who are actually going into supported living, and a lot of people was asking about trusts and holding companies and stuff like that. So it's a real good group mix of people today. So yeah, I'm happy. And a massive benefit of the tours as well is my business partner and the best mortgage advisor in the entire UK, Fax, is on hand to ask questions as well. So You had quite a few people around asking, didn't you?
Yeah, bridging and development finance is always the big one on these tours. People trying to get their head around how it works, yeah.
Yeah, that is something that I found as well lately. When it comes to bridging finance, people actually don't understand it. They don't realise that bridging finance is not very difficult to acquire as long as you meet certain criteria, which is very basic. Decentish credit reports, even if you've not got the greatest, you can still get a bridge. An income, and if you've opened up a limited company and you're not doing it on your personal name, you can literally apply for a bridge the same day as soon as your company's open. And people are like, wow, I didn't know that. But again, what you don't know, you don't know. So yeah, so go around. We can't really do too much talking in here because it's not the biggest. So go and look at the flooring, look at the upstairs, the bathrooms there, all the carpentry's in. Has it got miscoated upstairs yet? And I said, you know what? Follow the shape of the existing bay window and put glass each side, this side, like as big as it needs to be. And even that feature was off the cuff. Like I just saw it when we came in. And the light it adds into the house and the feature it gives in the room when you're actually on your own and you look, little things like that. Well, when a valuation officer walks in and sees something like that, they'll be like, wow, that's cool. And it automatically in their brain, they'll be like, I ain't seen a house around here as nice as that. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. So you get a higher valuation. I think hallways in houses this size are absolutely pathetic. Like, I don't get them. Obviously, when you live in a decent sized house that's got a hallway that's the size of this room, then yes, I like hallways. But I don't like single hallways. I don't see the point in them. So it cost me what? £1,000 to knock out a wall and put a steel in and have that when you open the front door.
Do that every time you knock a wall down.
What's that? Only if it's a load-bearing wall. If it's a plaster, you know, when you knock it and it's hollow, you don't need to have a steel above them.
Structural engineer will tell you that.
Well, you'll know. You'll know. So if you go like this, and it's inside, but if you go, you know the difference. You can tell yourself. Basically, can you kick your foot through it? If you can kick your foot through it, you're good. £300,000 offers. They wanted like 325 or something like that. I knew I could get this property for about 250. I thought in my head. So we offered 250 pre-auction. They refused it. I offered 275 pre-auction. They refused it. And then I offered 300 just to get it because I wanted it, and they refused it. Thank you. Who had the common sense to put the light on?
Motion censored?
No, I think Dan. If it was motion censored, it'd be fucking shit if 50 people have walked past it.
No, I mean like a certain height or something.
I think Dan. They refused my offer. Wanted to read. They said they'd get more, but inside the auction pack is a legal pack. Now, I advise all of you in property, if you're going to do it full time and get into it properly, auctions is where I make most of my money. They're the ones that I get the best deals from. They're the ones where I make a real good uplift. But you need to learn how to read a legal pack. That's the key. Because inside the legal pack there's lots of hidden things like special conditions and covenants and X, Y, and Z. Well, in this legal pack that everybody could read, it had prohibition orders. There was a rat infestation in the building at the back. There's that bungalow outside. We read them and we just did the sensible thing. Called Wolverhampton Council. How do I fix these? Because in the contract, in the legal thing, it said 30 days to... Whoever buys it has got 30 days to rectify all the prohibition orders. Otherwise, it falls on you. So we called Wolverhampton Council up and I made the phone call. Spoke to the person and we managed to actually speak to the person who put the prohibition orders on the property. Again, that was just complete luck that we got through to that person. And they advised us and said, all the prohibition orders have been lifted. They've all been rectified by the person who has inherited the property. It's just that Bond Wolf haven't updated their legal pack. So I literally sat in the office, and if anybody remembers this on the weekly, when I used to do the weekly, we watched the auction live for this property on the weekly, and I was like, no one's buying this property. And I was sitting there rubbing my hands together saying we're going to get cheaper than 300,000, because anybody who read that legal pack would have been put off by all of those prohibition orders. And lo and behold, it didn't sell live on the weekly, and then I bought it 25 minutes after the auction finished for 285 or 280. So what we're standing in now is a staff bedroom and office, okay? That there, behind you, is another staff bedroom and office, and both of them have en suites in there. And then just there, if you look here, that's an extension, can you see? That's under permitted development. So that's a communal kitchen living space. I have the garage at the back. You'll see when you look out the window. That's being turned into the car park, so I can have a drive going up there, and there'll be the charging points for the electric cars, because that's what they want. And then upstairs, I've got 4 bedrooms. Obviously, there's the extension on that side. It's only a tiny extension upstairs, because you'll see it. And that's the 4 bedrooms for the children. And then that's down here. And that's what they want me to do. That's not what I wanted. That's what they want me to do. So yeah, that looks like where I'm going with it, to be honest. So if you have a look around, you'll see how much space is actually in this house. This here, what you're looking at, is permitted development. You see this extension? See that extra half of the house there? That's full planning, okay? Now, when you put your planning applications through, you can put it on the portal, and what I would have done is, I want to build a double-storey extension, and I want to put a single-storey extension under permitted development on the back. Now, permitted development means it's permitted. You just have to tick the boxes and get it to the right sizes and stuff, and you can build it without anybody saying no. I built the permitted development one first. Okay, so you put a notice in, it's 42 days, because on a semi-detached, you can build out, by law, I think 3 metres without anything. If you want to go to 6 metres on a semi-detached, you have to put a notice in. On a detached like this, you can come out 4 metres. If you want to go to the length that I've gone, which you can see is 8 metres, you have to put a notice in. But one of my favourite things that I've done on this house is the roof. So when you're out the front, have a look at the 2 apexes that I've put on the front of the roof. It's ridiculous. Like, it's one of my favourite things we've done so far. We've had tools nicked off site. We've had graffiti on the walls from the young lads around the area.
Is that the builder's liability if their tools get nicked?
That's their problem, yeah. Yeah, just rent it out. Yeah, that's their problem. It's nothing to do with me. Anything that happens on site with contractors, it's their problem. Anything that they cause damage to the neighbours, it's my problem that they have to pay for. But I have to deal with it with the neighbours. So yeah, but this is a really cool house. Bought at auction. Yeah, auctions, you've got to be very, very sharp. Like, because there's lots of people out there trying to do certain things. But we're all right with houses like this, because not many people can afford to do 600-700 grand houses. So the market's quite smaller. Any questions anybody never got answered today?
I was saying, out of those, which one's most important to have a good one?
Solicitor, key, number 1. Your accountant comes into play when you start earning more money. So you don't really need it from the out. And obviously having a mortgage advisor is probably the thing that's going to guide you on your journey. And we own the best mortgage company in the UK. He's the best advisor there is. So yeah, and you get all of that in the university. There's so much that comes in that I just don't really talk about it very often. Anybody got any questions? Thank you for coming. I massively appreciate it. You're welcome. I'll see you all later.